Sapton Sands. It was a beachhead that was comparable to the beach in France. So we were each loaded with troops, tanks, ammunition, all kinds. And we sailed. I was on LST 515. My captain was Captain Doyle, and we had a lieutenant commander that was in charge of the flotilla, sailing in the English Channel. And it was about midnight while we were sailing. And all of a sudden we were called to general quarters. So I remember sitting there and just waiting. And the next thing I knew, and I looked to the south, and one of our LSTs was torpedoed. A few minutes later, another LST was torpedoed. So the lieutenant commander, said to our captains and all the other captains of the ships that they were to hit the beach to get away. And it was pitch dark, and the lieutenant commander said to all the captains of those different ships that they were supposed to hit the beach. Captain Doyle says, "No, we're going to pick up survivors." He started to sail towards where the other ships were torpedoed, and then we got an order from the bridge to say that a PT boat was going to come down and probably try to torpedo us. And the captain says, "Hold your fire, hold your fire." It was pitch dark. The water was cold, and you could hear the guys screaming and yelling for help and all that. So we had to wait. And then when they told us that the PT boat was getting closer, about a mile away, and then within 3/4 of a mile, we got an order from the bridge to open fire. And I don't know whether we hit him or not, but I understand from what I've heard, the torpedo went by us. It missed us. We started to try to pick up as many survivors as we can. They were yelling, screaming, and I remember when I looked out in the water, we heard some of our mates yelling, screaming, and we had, "Hang on, mates, we're going to pick you up, we're going to pick you up." We opened our bow doors and lowered the ramp. We lowered a Higgins boat, and then we had 2 of the brethren get in there and to pick up as many survivors as we could and bring them to the LST. And those 3 LSTs were torpedoed. We lost all of that. We lost all the Army. The Army was aboard, infantry, Tiger, the tanks were on their trucks, infantry, and we lost all those in 3 LSTs. But a lot of them were screaming in the water because the water was 40 degrees cold. I think we saved about close to 100. And I remember where we had one guy we picked up, and we tried to revive him. We couldn't help him at all. So then we got orders from the lieutenant that said to go around and pick up all the dog tags. We were out there for, I don't think we got back until 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. And then for Captain Doyle, we would have never saved them people. One ship the 3 ships that got torpedoed, the torpedo hit where the engine room was. Guys in the engine room didn't know what hit them. This day, I think about them. And I remember our ship was out there with all the other LSTs. 1 o'clock, we got orders to hit the beach, and it secured it. And we were picking up all the wounded, putting them on the ship in the tank deck. And then we waited and stayed there until about 8, 9 o'clock at night. We got orders to sail back to England. And we took the wounded, and if we had prisoners, we took prisoners back. Our ship made 62 trips across the English Channel. I can remember, all of us remember, when we were sailing back to England, up in the sky you could see the buzz bombs. The guys were in the water. There was 2 guys that were together, and they were so famished and that they didn't think they were going to make it. They were so cold, and they were ready to give up their life. He says when we were ready to give up our lives, we looked around, and here he says, I saw the most beautiful ship in the world, LST 515. I spent, I don't know how many years. I stayed there until the war ended. All of us were so gun-ho, and we loved our country, and we know that how much we love this country, and that we were going to fight for it. And we suffered an awful lot, you know. But I served with dignity and with love, guys. How much I appreciate and love them. It's history, and that is part of history.